Hello and welcome back. My name is Shimona, and today I am bringing you a guide on how I leveled my skills for the Lost and Found quest. If you hadn't seen my video I posted yesterday, I posted a epic crafting first look video where we kind of dived into the epic crafting system, which is unlocked by the 5-star quest in chapter 3 called Lost and Found. What this does, it allows you to take 3 rare class specific items, one from Cryo Knight, one from Guardian, one from Hammer Mage, of the same kind, and combine them together to create an epic item. If you want some more info on that, go check out that video. I kind of explored a little bit. I don't go too in depth just because you do need certain items, and I just don't have everything I need to kind of explore that fully. But it does give my initial thoughts and shows it off how it works. So I had a lot of people ask me for a guide on how to level up their, or how I leveled up my skills, and so I just decided to do some math, write it down, and present it to you guys. But this video is going to dive a little bit deeper into that, ways you can be more efficient, some tips that I learned along the way. But if you're just not really interested in any of that, and you just like give me the numbers, here it is. I'm going to put it down in the description of the video. I kind of broke it down into each levels. I do want to mention one thing about this in case you are just going to go off and do this. Some of these things you can't actually craft at the level. So for example, here at level 8 to 16 smithing, I say you're going to use this ore to make this item. You can't actually make this item to level 10. And this will kind of be a common theme across some of these. You're not going to be able to make the item at the lowest level I suggested at. And all I mean by this is you're going to buy the Cabranese ore, you're going to turn it into Cabranese ingots, and you're just going to bank the ingots. And you're going to get those couple levels that you need before you can start making the item just from processing the raw material. That's basically it. Um, Not too complicated, but I just wanted to kind of put that out there. There's also the thing with the Adathril Ore. If you do Mantuben Legacy, like I recommend, um, you're going to need a reduced amount of these because you're going to get a little bit of XP from getting the quest completion anyway. So I included that there as well. But yeah, let's dive into the gathering section of this quest. So there are 2 skills that you could train and collect the resources for to help with this grind. One of them, of course, is, mining. Mining is the primary way to get ores and stone, and gathering, which is the primary way of collecting bone. Like I said, you don't need to do any mining or smithing or gathering if you don't want to. You can buy all the resources from the vendor. It's not too expensive. Maybe you go to chapter 4, you level some merchanting, you make some money. Um, it's whatever. But I want to go over the gathering sides of it because if you are like a little bit of a not professional, but an efficiency nut, and you're like, well, I gotta get these I gotta level these skills anyways, and so why not level these skills and get the experience and the gathering skills so I get the resources myself anyways, and you'll make a little bit more money at the end of the day. So the first one's gathering. Again, you can kind of level with whatever. I mean, you'll need some gathering stuff for potions and whatever, but the biggest one's ram's horn. You're gonna need how many ram's horns did I say you would need? About 108. That'll probably get you from 12 to 18, if not pretty close. And you're gonna need, I think, a whole lot of bone spikes, right? Yeah, I mean 456. I didn't really want to go too into like leveling gathering, mainly because I wanted to get that video out quickly. But you could technically gather bone spikes all the way to 30, which is femur. When you unlock femur shards, I've heard that tang fruit and catkin aren't like super great for leveling gathering. But at minimum, if you're near level 20 gathering, or if you're at level 20 gathering, just do bone spikes to 22, get the next unlock, and then just kind of move on from there. That's what I did. And the other example is mining. Um, Again, you don't have to level mining. I did mining to 40 because Cabranese Ore is the most efficient thing to do at 40. And if you actually come here and take a look at the Cabranese Ore, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. If you want to mine this and bank these, you have to come up, down, up to the storage rift, and then all the way back. Or you have to go right up, right, up, around, and up. So it's not there's not really a great place to bank it, and you're going to be spending so much time. Like I think the closest bank is actually here, but then you have to go through the tentacles, which if you know you can't get through without getting hit, but it's just annoying to do. Um, I just if you want to level mining, you probably don't want to bother banking the Cabranese Ore. I mean, it's so cheap from the vendor. Like you're not gonna lose that much money buying it. Just mine the Cabranese Ore and drop it, and then once you get the andesite, then you can start banking it again or whatever. But up to 40, it does feel pretty good. You're usually just gonna want to mine the highest level thing you can, and bank it if you're close to a bank. The exception is like I said, the Cabranese Ore. And the other exception is Deathstone. I don't know if I would recommend Deathstone. If you go over my guide, Deathstone is used in stone masonry, but I don't recommend you use Deathstone unless you want to go mine it yourself. I don't recommend mining it yourself. I'll go into why in just a minute. But they're like insanely expensive. If you wanted to level the normal leveling bracket through Deathstone, I think it's going to cost you something like 2 gold. It just doesn't make sense. Just stick to the granite, level through granite all the way up to 38. It might take a little bit of time, but it's not worth the gold to use Deathstone from the vendor specifically. Um, yeah, but my recommendation is level 27 mining through iron ore all the way up to 40. And this will actually get you enough iron ore to level your mining or your smithing from level 37 smithing almost up to, if not a little bit past, level 60 smithing. So you won't have to buy any of the tier 2 iron ore. You won't have to buy any of the tier 2 Cabranese ore. If I show you here, you can see my recommendation from the guide is 1600 iron ore and 800 Cabranese ore to get up to 60 if you're buying it. You would not have to buy any of this. So you would save all that money, and you would save like the time of like coming here, buying it, running all the way back, putting it in the bank, coming, buying it. Um, it's probably the best thing to do if you want to do train your gathering prior to doing these smithing skills. And honestly, there's not really much of a rush. Like we don't know when chapter 5 is going to come out. We don't know when trading is going to come out. You probably have the time. Just do things kind of efficiently, and it'll benefit you in the long run, right? But again, you don't have to. It's just my just a little tip. I'm giving you the information so you can make your own decision. The other thing I want to mention is when you get to the level of doing level 18 flint and level 22 basalt, you may be a little tempted to, once you get 22, ignoring the flint and coming up and just mining the basalt, a full inventory, and banking it here. I think if you were to do that, your mining XP an hour would be about 40,000. A little tip I can give you is your route should be, when you get to 22, you actually come up here from the storage rift, you mine these 3 flint here, then you come up, you mine the 2 rooms together, or 6 basalt. So you would mine this 3 times, which would leave you 3 empty inventory spots. And then you actually come back, you mine this room of flint to finish off the full inventory. You would have 18 basalt, 6 flint, and then you bank here. So once you bank, you come back out. This flint won't have respawned yet. You can mine this flint, and then you rinse and repeat. So 6, 6, 6, come down, 3, full inventory, bank, come up, 3, 6, 6, 6, 3, full inventory, come back. And it bumps your XP an hour in mining from like 40,000 by just mining this up to like 55,000. So that's a little tip, little freebie for you guys at home. Uh, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Some things about the quest and why they require all these levels. So again, it's 61 mine fighter, 40 bone right, 46 stonemason, and 60 blacksmithing. Is you do want to put your knowledge points into the AFKs in these skills. If we come down here, the quest specifically requires you to kill this shaggy beastman from AFK. So you need, this one requires 10 knowledge points. You have to put 9 whole knowledge points into leveling up these AFKs. So don't I know a lot of people are just not leveling up their AFK skills because they're like, I only need an AFK one skill. I would rather use the knowledge points for experience, which is fair. But for this quest specifically, you do have to put all your knowledge points that you can into the 4 skills required for it, because that's the whole level requirements of these skills is doing the thing, the AFK skill, to get the resource which is required during the quest. Um, One last thing I'm gonna say is, and this is maybe pro strat or whatever, uh, don't bother leveling bone right yourself. It's so tedious and annoying having to um, go not only get the carpentry resource you need, but also having to use it while also like managing the horns and stuff. I mean, you can sit. I don't know. It felt horrible. I did do it last, so maybe I was kind of getting towards the end of like this grind, and I was just like, I want this to be over. But if I were to do it myself all over again, the first thing I would do is go get level 20 bone right and then never train that skill again and put all the knowledge points I got while training smithing, stonemason, and mine fighting. I would put it all into bone right and hope to God that got me to level 40 bone right before I was done with the other skills. Um, it's probably not efficient to do it that way, just because there's probably better skills you can be dumping your knowledge point XP into. But that would be my recommendation. If you do want to put knowledge points in towards speeding this grind specifically up, do it that way. Get 20 bone right and just level it up through knowledge points. Um, that's pretty much it, I think. If I remember anything, or if I get any comments, or if I missed anything, I'll do my best to update the description or potentially do it in the pinned comment. Um, Other than that, I hope this helps. I hope you guys are able to get this, because it's 100% worth getting at least this early. There's not much to do in Brighter Shores right now other than just leveling skills. So the one thing that is you can do is do quests, and especially do quests that let you do things that are important. So hope this helped. Let me know what you think, and have fun grinding.